Chinese President Xi Jinping and Venezuelan head of state Nicolás Maduro met in Beijing as both leaders have pledged to take bilateral relations to the highest level. U.S. authorities report that the country registered more than 9 million children in poverty. On Wednesday, the city of Derna in eastern Libya reported death toll in the thousands, and a very high number of people were found dead after two dams burned under the pressure of torrential rains. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. Chinese President Xi Jinping has a welcome ceremony for visiting Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro on Wednesday. While receiving the head of state, the military band played the national anthem of Venezuela and China, and a 21-gun salute was fired. Accompanied by Xi, Maduro reviewed the Guard of Honor of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, and the two head of state also watched a march past of the Guard of Honor and a performance of the military band. Upon receiving the President of Venezuela, Xi Jinping expressed his support for Venezuela's efforts to maintain its sovereignty, national dignity, and social stability, as well as resist external interference. In a meeting at the Great People's Palace, the Chinese President assured that his country and Venezuela are good friends and partners. For his part, the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro thanked the authorities for the support of the Asian nation and assured that their relations are a model of the links between the countries of the global South. During his meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, the President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, affirmed that his country is ready to work and open a new era in the Venezuela-China relations.
Quiero expresar a nombre de nuestro pueblo.
First of all, on behalf of the Venezuelan people, I would like to express my best wishes to you, the ancient China and the People's Republic of China. The relationship between Venezuela and China are an example for the countries of the global South. I have witnessed how China has become a superpower committed to peace, well-being, and cooperation for humanity. My team and I are very happy to be in China again, and I am ready to work with the Chinese side to open a bright new era in Venezuela-China relations.
During the meeting, Chinese head of state Xi Jinping praised the good health of bilateral relations between China and Venezuela and stressed his nation's support for the sovereignty of the South American nation.
China and Venezuela are good friends with mutual trust and good partners for common development. China has always viewed the development of relations with Venezuela from a strategic, high-level and long-term perspective, and will, as always, firmly support the efforts of Venezuela to safeguard national sovereignty, national dignity, and social stability, and firmly support Venezuela's just cause of opposing foreign interference.
In the same line, the leader of the Asian nation stated his country and Venezuela will upgrade strategic ties with the purpose of enhancing their people's well-being.
I am very happy to announce with you the upgrading of China-Venezuela relations to an all-weather strategic partnership. Next year will mark the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between our two countries. I am willing to work with you to draw up a blueprint for the development of China-Venezuela relations and to consolidate and deepen cooperation between the two countries in various fields, so as to bring more benefits to the people of the two countries and inject more positive energy for world peace and development.
Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro stated that a China-Venezuela high-level commission is one of the most beneficial for the nations.
All the commissions have been important. I believe they have been fruitful. But with the deep knowledge that I have, I say intensely, I believe that this is the best day that the China-Venezuela High-Level Commission has ever had for the relationship between our countries.
Venezuelan Executive Vice President Delcy Rodriguez referred to the historic relations between both countries and the role of President Nicolás Maduro and his counterpart Xi Jinping in the development.
We know that China and Venezuela, one heart and one mind for their cooperation, and under the leadership of President Maduro and President Xi Jinping, have been able to remove from the road all the obstacles that our cooperation has suffered in these 22 years of existence of the Commission.
Cuba's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bruno Rodriguez, highlighted the importance of the science, technology, and innovation for the members of the G77 plus China. At a press conference in connection with the G77 and China Summit to be held on September the 15th and the 16th, the Cuban Foreign Minister affirms that the summit draft final declaration includes the purposes and principles of the group and admits the needs of developing countries. Rodriguez points out that the document was conceived through a broad, collective, harmonious, and constructive negotiation process. Let's take a very short break, but remember, you can now join us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates, and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. Now it's time for Venezuela on the Mood, and we go to the central west of the country. We visit an agroecological farm in the state of Cojedes. Our correspondent Adriana Sibori shows us in the following report how the agroecological farm Doña Maria y Don Guillermo works and the importance that its workers give to the protecting nature. Let's see.
Angel is the owner of this agroecological farm. A ritual at the entrance.
The people who come from outside put their hands inside because this is curative. It cures arthritis. It is bachaco soil. It is an insect that lives in the tropics and gives out a fungus that has 108 micro and macro elements, and the body has precisely those 108 elements.
In the distance, one of his neighbors is fishing in silence. Not even with the passing rain does he flinch. Here they call fish or any type of meat salado.
It is expensive to get outside because if we get enough for a kilogram of pasta, we do not get enough to buy the salado. So sometimes I ask permission to come and take 10 or 5 small fish.
And that's how you push forward.
That's how I push forward. He helps me and I help him.
As you walk around the area, he's observed, and a good lunch arrives.
That's not a coporo, that's tilapia. How is it going to be a tilapia? No, it's a coporo. Can't you see?
He's one of the 14 siblings tending the land.
Nature speaks, cries, moans. It is true. What happens is that we don't understand it. If you put your ear to the ground, you can hear how the earthworms sound, how the flowers grow. But men do not know that. The planetary system is in crisis. Right now you can feel the climate change because unfortunately man has neglected to protect the environment, and what we do here is to protect the environment in an educational way.
He runs this place by himself. His daughters used to help him, now they live abroad.
That was a nightmare. Imagine what it was for me. A sacrifice, a hard blow in the chest. But they will soon come back. Here we have everything. You throw any grain on the ground and it grows. So there is no need to leave the country.
His brother-in-law lends a hand when he gives environmental courses to students or opens for ecotourism. Now there is little movement.
It's difficult. Sometimes it's the gasoline. Sometimes it's the transportation.
While the fire continues to burn on one side in a corner and her shows decomposed, he prepares himself.
It is totally biodegradable. It does not cause side effects to health, to nature. What happens with chemical fertilizers? They salinize the soil and compact it.
The bees, their passion, each one in its hive, and they have no stinger.
They are the great pollinators of 270,000 tree species that exist in the tropics, and they pollinate that amount of trees. That is why they have such importance.
Looking for a biologist to start a butterfly farm is his next step.
Luis Horacio Gutiérrez y Adriana Sibori, teleSUR, Cogedes, Venezuela.
On Wednesday, Brazil's Supreme Court opened the first trial for the January 8 riot in Brasilia by supporters of the former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro, who demanded the ouster of his successor Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva. The first four defendants were tried before the Supreme Court of the capital, one of the three buildings invaded and looting that by thousands of Bolsonaro supporters together with the presidential palace and the Congress.
On January 8, 243 people were arrested in the act inside public buildings and in the Three Powers Square. On January 9, 1,927 people were taken to the National Police Academy.
The criminal action engineered by the agents in which the defendant participated had the nefarious motive of continuously preventing the regular exercise of constitutional powers and provoking the deposition of the legitimately constituted government.
Also in Brazil, marches by indigenous women from several regions of the country continue seeking the demarcation and protection of their lands. Under the slogan, Women Bames, in defense of biodiversity through our ancestral roots, thousands of indigenous women mobilized in Brazil to demand their rights and demand the demarcation of their lands and the end of illegal mining. In this sense, next September the 20th, the vote on the time of farmer will be taken up again at the Supreme Court, a key trial for the indigenous people and their ancestral territories. In Peru, workers of the Administrative Services contract regime marched on Wednesday to demand labor improvements from the government. Workers from different parts of the country gathered at the San Martin Square in Lima, capital of Peru, from where they began a march toward the National Congress to demand from government agencies and the Ministry of Finance a labor system with decent benefits for all public employees. The main demands of workers is the payment of bonus offers in the month of July, which they have not received so far.
We, the state workers, are in a national day of struggle, mainly to stop the abuses and lies of the Minister of Economy and Finance. One of the first lies is to have signed a collective agreement for a special bonus of 600 sols that should have been paid in July. We are already at the end of September, and he has not yet presented the supplementary credit bill. It lies upon lies. He signs an agreement and makes public offers and does not fulfill them. Besides the abuses of his officials against the right to collective bargaining that has cost us 42 years to achieve.
U.S. authorities report that the country registered more than 9 million children in poverty. According to the official data, this is the highest increase in poverty for minors in a single year in the history of the country. According to Sharon Parrott, who shares the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities, this increase is the responsibility of the Congress. The overall poverty rate has also increased from 7.8% to 12.4%, and according to the experts, the figures are a result of a lack of policies to address social issues with respect to social index. Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch our interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on our most recent events. One financial break, don't go away. Welcome back. This Wednesday, the city of Derna in eastern Libya reported death tolls in the thousands, and a very high number of people were feared dead after 2 drums burned under the pressure of torrential rains, releasing powerful flood waters that sweep away everything in their path. Given the difficult access to this town of 100,000 inhabitants, uncertainty remains over the number of victims of the disaster, which could have left several thousand people dead or missing, according to the authorities. Roads were cut off, landslides and floods preventing rescue services from reaching the population, who had to make do with rudimentary means to recover bodies buried by the thousands in mass graves, according to the images broadcast on the social networks. Lebanon sent a military plane with humanitarian aid to Libya, departing from Makar military airport in Amman. A senior official said that his country's governments remain in close cooperation with the Libyan authorities. Let's hear it.
We are in continuous communication with authorities there to assess their needs and to know whether they need more aid. We focused in this shipment on basic necessities, such as food and relief aid like tents, blankets, and whatever needed in such conditions, in addition to food parcels suitable for such situations.
Italian military and firefighters launched material, including inflatable boats, into the plane at Pisa airport before it heads to flood Libya. On Wednesday, the Italian Defense Ministry announced it will send a ship and 2 planes to the North African country to deliver material and help rescue efforts following the catastrophic floods that have left at least thousands dead and missing people. A French aircraft carrying around 40 rescuers and several tons of medical equipment, including a hospital, is preparing to take off from the Eastern military base in south of France for Libya to help those affected by the deadly floods. This assistance comes in addition to the efforts provided by the other nations such as Turkey, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, which are among the first countries to respond to the catastrophe in the war-scarred country that also displaced tens of thousands. In Morocco, an aftershock of magnitude 3.9 shaken the province of Al Hassoun, south of Marrakech. The new quake occurred while authorities were searching and rescuing people. No new losses of life or the material losses have been reported as a result of this earthquake. This after the 6.8 magnitude earthquake that occurred 5 days ago and left more than 3,000 dead and more than 2,000 injured. South Korean Premier Han Duck-soo was in Poland on Wednesday for talks on regional security and the conflict in neighboring Ukraine. Han Duck-soo also addressed military cooperation and nuclear energy as the two countries continue to strengthen ties. Han and his Polish counterpart visit an air base in Minsk, Mazowiec in eastern Poland, where they observed Korean F-850 fighter jets that Poland recently purchases along with other military equipment. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Wednesday reshuffled his cabinet and key party posts to strengthen his position ahead of the key party leadership vote next year. Kishida appoints a new defense minister and the country's first female foreign minister since 2004. Kishida also appoints 5 women to the 19-member cabinet as a part of his attempt to improve the law support rating for his previous male-dominated cabinet, which had only 2 women. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We're on Facebook and Twitter and on Instagram as well. For TeleSUR English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.